Hey everybody, welcome to the other side of the homestead. Yoda here. Come and get messy with me. We're baking bread. So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you Hawaiian bread. So this recipe is the Hawaiian bread recipe that you're paying, oh gosh, I think it's up to $6, $7 now for a package, and unless you get it over at Sam's Club, and then you always end up with more than what you really need. So I'm going to teach you how to make that. So come on with me. All right, so pardon the mess. I said you're getting messy with me. I've got 3 different projects going on here. I got one for the freeze dryer, one for dinner, and this for Saturday. We got a shindig to go to. So we're going to start over on this side with the mixer, and we're going to go with 4½ cups of flour. So you're just going to dump that in. Then we're using a quick rise yeast, just 1 package. Throw that in there. These, I got a row of them for 99 cents. And so I just kind of watch when things go on sale and snag them up. So then we're going to go in with a 1/3 cup of powdered milk and 1, let's see if I can get it, teaspoon of salt. Okay, that's what we've got going on there. Now I got to take you over to the stove. Okay, so here's what we're going to start with. We're going to go in with some shortening, and we're doing a 1/3 cup. You just throw that into a saucepan. Then we are going to add a 1/4 cup of honey. So yeah, that is scrumptious. So exciting. Now, thinking about this recipe, this was actually Garen's mom's recipe. Haha. And Garen was very disappointed. It was one of his favorite breads, and he found out that it's actually King Hawaiian's recipe. So that's okay. I'm going to teach you. It's delicious anyway. Then we're going to take and put in 1/2 cup of pineapple juice. Now this juice, I took 3 pineapples that I had, and I squeezed it because I'm also going to do some pineapple cakes for this weekend. We'll try to get that on film too because that's a really cool one. And then, let's see, we're going to do a 1/2 cup of water. Got it. And then we're going to take this to just above a simmer. We only want to get it to about 120 degrees, no higher than 130 degrees. Now, if you make a mistake, and I did on my first loaf, so if you go too long with this process, if you go longer than 3 minutes, then it's going to make your dough very, very runny. You'll have to let it cool down to 120, 130 degrees. So what we're doing, it doesn't matter if the shortening is melted or not. We're just mixing the water, pineapple juice, and honey. I got my fire a little bit hot, so it's actually coming to heat pretty fast. Okay, I think we're good there. Just throw all that back in there, and now let's head over to the other side. All right, so now we're just going to pour all of this in there, right, just like that. Get all that good. Throw that back on the stove because I'm going to have to do more bread. Shindig's going to have somewhere around 80 people, so 1 or 2 loaves is not enough. This is my 4th one. All right, so now we've got all this in there, and now we're going to add in, oops, I forgot to pull them out. Apologize for that. Now we're going to add 2 eggs. This just comes right in here. Pass this over to my assistant. Throw that on in there. Now you can do this by hand. That's how Ann did it, Garen's mom, and it works just fine. I'm going to cheat a little bit, and then I'll finish up with my hands. So I try to keep it on a low mix just so that it doesn't splatter everywhere. Kind of get this going in here. So what I'm doing now is I'm just getting all of the dough. It's so sticky and it's just not picking up on the bottom. So this is when I go in, and now by hand I'm going to pick up those extra bits. So we're just going to come in. Try not to throw stuff around. So once we're done here, we're going to take it to a lightly floured surface. Make sure I'm using my counters here. The kitchen, like I said, I've got 3 projects going on. So everything's a little full and I'm tight for space. So I just sanitized my counter and then got that lightly floured. All right, so I can tell that I need just a little bit more moisture here. I don't think I got enough pineapple juice. So I'm going to just put a dash more in there. All right, so obviously as I'm picking everything up and mixing it, I'm doing a little kneading in there. So I try to go ahead and count in my head and think about how many minutes I've got that on there. So I've come over to my lightly floured surface, and now it's time to knead it. This is a 10-minute process, so you're just going to keep going in. Now this can be a little tough, so kind of put my body weight into it. See, in the old days, all the men baked the bread. And that was because this process can be very tough. You gotta have some strength and oomph. Not that I'm saying that women don't have strength, we have strength. Okay, so now we've got this going. It's actually developed pretty darn good. I think we got everything mixed. You want a nice smooth surface, right? So we've got that nice and smooth. You know it's good when you put a dent in it. It holds, all right? So now we're going to transfer this over to a greased bowl and then let that rise for 30 minutes. Then we'll punch it down and then let it rise for another 30 minutes in a greased pie pan or cake pan. You use what you want to use. And I apologize again. I know I'm sweating. It's hot in here. I got too many things going on. So we're going to let this rise, and guess what? I have 2 in the oven. We're going to pull out. They're ready to go. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. Whoops. All right. These sat a little too long. Timer went off as I was showing you the other recipe. Or as I was showing you the recipe for this one. So these went a little too long, but that's okay. So, okay. So here we have it. 2 things. So I'm seeing from the cracks and the way that this rose, it happened, and then this one here, when you have air bubbles in your bread and you don't catch them, it will crack and it will leave holes inside the dough. So to solve that problem, you'll just take a toothpick and go through on the surface and poke those holes. Make sure you get those out of there. My mistake, these are the very first 2. This one I knew that I messed up on because it just wasn't right when I was doing that. Hence why also on my 4th loaf, so getting those to rise. So anyway, so this is it. At the end, once I put them in here and let them rise for 30 minutes, before I put them in the oven, I take 1 egg and 1 tablespoon of water, mix them together, and you're going to brush them on top. So hopefully it gets better, and we'll see. So anyway, this is Hawaiian bread. Not as pretty as what the store is, but you know, you just have to keep doing you, maybe knead a little bit more, do all that stuff, and it'll be okay. So trial and error. It's always trial and error. But this is edible. It tastes good. So I took a little piece off to make sure to taste it, but it's delish. All right, guys. So that's Hawaiian bread, and hopefully I'll get a better loaf, a lighter loaf, and be able to show you that end product. Practice, practice, practice. Every time you do bread, it's going to keep changing, and you're going to get better and better at it. Okay? All right, guys. Till next time, live a life done free. If you like this video and you want to catch up on some other cooking videos, make sure you hit the like button and also the notification button. So hit those 2, and that'll make sure that you get an alert when the next cooking video comes on. So, all right, guys, till then, live a life done free.
Thanks, Milo.